My wife said, "I'm taking the dog." I replied, "The microchip is in my name." Then I tracked her to a hotel, photographed her kissing her boss, sent the proof to his wife and HR, and filed for custody. And I just smiled because they were both fired and the judge gave me the house, our daughter, and Maple. Original post: I am 36. My wife, Jenna, is 34. We have a 4-year-old daughter named Ava and a dog named Maple. We live in a 2-bedroom condo near the river. I do network support for a school district. Jenna works as a project coordinator for a regional home builder. We married young. We learned how to fix leaky sinks and file taxes by watching videos at the kitchen table. We were steady for years. We did not make drama. We made lists. 3 months ago, on a quiet Tuesday, Jenna poured coffee, set down my mug, and said the words like she was reading a weather report. "I am leaving you. I am taking everything." She looked right through me, no shake in her voice, no anger, just cold air. I asked one word: "Why?" She blinked once. She said we grew apart. She said she already had a plan. She said the moving truck would be cheaper midweek. She slid a printed inventory across the table. Couch, TV, kitchen table, Maple, half the house plants, the air fryer. She had color-coded the list. My mouth filled with the taste of old pennies. She pushed a pen toward me and said we could do this the easy way. I did not touch the pen. I looked at the list again. She had circled Maple's name and wrote "Transfer Microchip" in neat letters. I looked at her hand. No ring. The tan line was still there. I did not yell. I did not beg. I stood and washed my cup. I dried it and put it on the top shelf like I always do. My body did the routine while my head tried to catch up. I walked into the bedroom and opened the closet. A new suitcase sat on the floor. It had a leather tag with initials that were not ours. BW. I do not know anyone with those initials. I closed the closet. I took a breath that did not help. I went back to the table and took a photo of the inventory. I took a photo of the leather tag on the suitcase. I took a photo of Maple lying under the window with the morning sun on her paws. Then I packed Ava's lunch: apple slices, peanut butter sandwich. The crust cut the way she likes, 2 grapes in foil so they would not mush. On the drive to daycare, I watched the traffic lights and kept my voice steady for Ava. She told me her teacher had a turtle. She asked if turtles can read. I said not books. She laughed. My hands stopped shaking by the time I pulled into the lot. At lunch, I opened our bank app. I saw 3 new charges on Jenna's personal card at a hotel by the highway. The dates matched her late nights: room service, lounge, spa. On our joint card, I saw a pickup order at a pet store for a travel crate and a harness Maple had never needed. I put screenshots in a folder with a boring name. I called a family lawyer and asked for a consult. He told me 3 things. Do not move out. Do not agree to anything without counsel. Document everything. He told me to get our financial records and to think about temporary orders for Ava and Maple. He told me to stop talking about fairness and start talking about facts. That night I slept on the couch. Jenna took the bed. Maple slept by me. I stared at the dark until it turned gray. In my head I built a list. It was simple. Lawyer, bank, daycare, vet, proof. No confrontation yet, only first steps. Update 1: 2 days later, Jenna said she had a late client dinner. She left in a black dress I had not seen since a wedding last year. I put Ava to bed and sat with Maple on the rug. At 9 p.m., I drove to the hotel from the bank screenshots. I parked near the side entrance and watched the lobby through sliding glass. People came and went, suit jackets, laptops. A woman in a red coat with a name badge. At 937, I saw Jenna walk in with a tall man. He had a blazer and a leather bag with a brass tag. BW. He put his hand on her back as they passed the front desk. They did not look around. I waited 10 minutes. I walked in and asked the desk if the lounge kitchen was still open. The clerk said yes until 10. I thanked him and took the elevator to the third floor. I did not know their room. I did not need it. I followed the sound of a laugh I knew well. It came from the hall near the conference rooms. They were in a small glass meeting room with a table and a whiteboard. The man wrote something with a marker and then leaned in to kiss her. She put a hand on his chest but did not stop him. Through the glass, I could see his badge flip. It showed his name, Brandon Wyatt, Regional Operations Director. He was in Jenna's company directory. He was in our backyard last summer for a team barbecue. He had helped Ava take a turn on a cheap plastic slide and said he loved kids. I lifted my phone and took 2 photos. Clear, no glare. I took one of the whiteboard where he had written a date and 2 initials. J+B. It looked like a dumb joke a teenager would make. It was useful to me. I did not knock. I did not walk in. I turned and left. In the lobby, I asked for the restaurant manager and told him in a calm voice that I believed a company lounge and meeting room were being used for non-work activity. I did not raise my tone. I pointed at the room. He looked, frowned, and walked toward the hall with purpose. I kept walking. Outside, I sat in my car with my hands on the wheel until they stopped shaking. At home, Jenna came in at 11:30 with the smell of hotel soap and fake citrus. She went straight to the bedroom. I opened my laptop and wrote an email to myself with the time, place, and what I saw. I attached the photos. I backed them up to a drive I kept at work. I slept 3 hours with Maple pressed against my leg. In the morning, I asked Jenna one line in the kitchen. "Are you still taking everything?" She said yes. She added the word entitled. She said she was entitled to the couch because she picked it. She said she was entitled to Maple because she walked her more. She did not look at me when she said it. I poured cereal. I put the bowl in front of Ava and kissed the top of her head. I said nothing back. Update 2. I met my lawyer at 8 a.m. with a folder and a list. We filed for temporary orders that same day. Primary custody to me during the week due to daycare drop-offs I already did. Shared weekends. Exchanges at the police station lobby. No overnights with new partners when Ava was present. Exclusive use of the condo for me until the hearing because Jenna had a second place to stay, which I would show. Maple to remain with me due to continuity and training records in my name. We served Jenna through her lawyer. I sent one email to her and copied counsel. All personal items can be collected Saturday from 10 to 12. I will take Ava to the park. A neighbor will be present. Do not take Maple. Do not take furniture outside of the list we agree on. Take clothes and personal items only. I set up a cheap camera in the living room facing the front door. I told her in writing that it would be recording. Everything was clean and above board. I called the vet and confirmed Maple's microchip was in my name. I asked the front desk to note that any transfer would require my signature. They marked the file. I printed it. I called daycare and put a code word on Ava's pickup list. Only me, Jenna, and the 2 grandparents had the word. I sent these notes to my lawyer. Then I opened a new email and wrote to HR at Jenna's company. It was short and plain. I said I believed a manager and a direct report were involved in a relationship in violation of company policy, and that company resources were used for non-work activity. I attached the photos. I attached a screenshot of their policy from the public site. I stated I would not discuss it further and that this was for their investigation, not my court case. I hit send and closed the laptop. Silence is a tool. Jenna went loud on social media that night. She posted a long note about empowerment and reclaiming her life and not being a servant. She wrote that some people would call her selfish. She wrote that she had given everything to a man who did not appreciate her. There were hearts and claps. There were a few messages to me, asking if I was okay. I did not reply. I saved the post and time-stamped it. The next day, HR called Jenna in. I learned that from a friend of a friend who worked in the same building. Brandon was called in too. The company had an open office rumor line and a strict policy. The glass meeting room video existed. Their names were on a sign in log. The hotel sent itemized receipts. The photos did not lie. By Friday, Brandon was placed on leave. By Tuesday, he resigned to pursue new opportunities. His LinkedIn went quiet. Jenna was moved off his projects and out of his chain. She kept her job but lost her bonus and any shot at promotion for a while. She emailed me at 2 a.m. and said I had destroyed her career. I replied with one line, "Please keep emails about Ava." On Saturday, Jenna showed up with her sister and a moving company. When she saw Maple on the rug, she said, "I am taking the dog." I said, "Maple is chipped to me. The court has a motion pending. Do not touch her." My neighbor stood by the door. The movers looked at the inventory and then at each other. They packed 3 boxes of clothes and 2 boxes of shoes. They did not touch the couch. In the middle of boxing, Jenna grabbed the leather suitcase. The tag with BW swung. She put it down fast when she saw me look at it. Her sister watched the tag like it was hot. No one spoke. When they left, the condo felt larger. Not better, just larger and quiet. The court gave me temporary primary custody and the condo a week later. They gave Maple to me pending the final hearing. Exchanges for Ava happened at the police lobby. Calm, fast, no speeches. My lawyer told me to keep my head down. I did. Claire, Brandon's wife, reached out to me with a short email. She said thank you for telling the truth without adding noise. She said they had their own work to do. She did not want details. I wrote back, understood. I wished her steady days. We never spoke again. Jenna tried to make friends choose sides. She told some that I was taking everything from her. She told others that I had trapped her financially. I sent no rebuttals. People learn on their own when the dust settles, and they did. 2 friends sent quiet messages that they were here if I needed to talk. I said thanks and asked them to keep Ava out of adult conversations. They said they would. I made the condo work. I sold the TV I did not need and used the cash to fix a leak under the sink and buy Ava a used tricycle. I set up a whiteboard with bills and dates. I cooked simple food: eggs, rice, chicken, frozen peas. Maple learned the new schedule, walks at 6 and 9. Ava learned how to help scoop her food. She laughed when Maple snorted. By the end of the month, the house had a new shape. I slept, not well, but I slept. Update 3, 7 weeks after the morning in the kitchen, Jenna sent an email with a subject that said, "Can we talk?" I replied after exchange at the station. 15 minutes, public place. She said okay. She arrived with clean hair and a tight smile. She hugged Ava and cried a little. The officer at the desk gave Ava a sticker. When Ava walked to the corner with a coloring book, Jenna stepped closer to me. She said, "It is over with Brandon. He lied about leaving his wife. He is gone." She said, "I am sorry." She said, "I was angry and afraid and wanted to hurt you first." She said, "We can try counseling. We can sell the condo and get a fresh start somewhere else." She made a small, hopeful face like a girl asking to stay up late. I kept my hands in my jacket pockets. My voice was even. I said, "We are not trying again. We are co-parents. We will talk about Ava, that is all." She looked like she had swallowed a stone. She said, "Please." I said no. She said, "I made a mistake." I said, "I understand that you see it that way. It does not change what I need to do." She asked if she could hug me. I said no. She nodded. She wiped her eyes with the heel of her hand and said, "When did you change the Wi-Fi password?" I said, "After the court order." She did a small laugh that was not a laugh. The officer brought Ava back with a sticker shaped like a star. We set the next time and they left. I sat on the bench and watched the automatic door open and close. I thought about the leather tag with someone else's initials. I thought about Maple asleep on the rug with her feet twitching. I thought about Ava's voice when she asks if turtles can read. It felt simple and heavy at the same time. Final update: it has been 8 months. The divorce is final. We signed in a quiet room and left by different doors. The court kept primary custody with me and a standard schedule for Jenna. The condo came to me after a buyout of her equity that the judge set. Maple stayed with me. The judge said stable placement mattered and the microchip and vet records were clear. Ava is doing well. She started pre-K. She can write her name in big letters that lean to the right. She asks honest questions. Why does mommy live at a different house? I say some grown-ups work better in 2 houses than 1. Are you mad at mommy? I say I am focused on being your dad. Did I make you sad? I say no, you make me happy. Always. She nods like she is checking a box and then asks for pancakes. Jenna moved into a smaller apartment. She kept her job, but the promotion path is gone for now. That is her story to work on. Brandon took a job in another state. His LinkedIn shows a consulting title that means nothing. Claire kept their house. She posted a photo of a garden bed she built with her kids. No faces, just hands in dirt and basil leaves. I scrolled past and felt nothing sharp, just a flat line. Money is tight but honest. I have a budget taped inside a cabinet. I stick to it. I cook at home. I bring leftovers to work. I set a reminder for bills. I found a second-hand dresser for Ava's room. She helped paint the knobs with tiny dots. Maple sleeps under the window and snores in a soft way that makes the house feel less empty. Some people messaged me asking about the story. They wanted the blow-by-blow. They wanted sharp words and broken plates. I told them the truth. My revenge was a list. It was a folder of time stamps and receipts. It was a call to HR that matched a policy on a page. It was a clean boundary held in a public lobby while a little girl picked a sticker. It was the quiet work of not letting someone take everything else after they already took the future we had planned. Sometimes at night, after Ava is asleep, I open the drawer with the boring file labels. Birth certificates, insurance, final decree. On top I keep the printed photo of the leather suitcase tag. BW, it is not there to make me angry. It is there to remind me that details matter, that I saw what I saw and acted without yelling, that I kept what mattered. Ava, Maple, a steady home. I learned a few things. People tell you who they are when they think you cannot stop them. Paper is a shield if you keep it in order. Silence can be louder than a speech. A boundary is not a dramatic wall. It is a quiet door you close for good reasons and never open again. On Fridays, Ava and I make pizza. She pushes dough with both hands and says it feels like a pillow. Maple sits by the oven and hopes for cheese to fall. We eat on the floor and watch a cartoon. Later, after dishes, I set out her small backpack for the next day. I put a note in the front pocket that says I love you in block letters. She cannot always read every word yet. She knows what it means. Last week, while putting laundry away, I found the inventory Jenna made that first morning. It had coffee ring marks where my hand shook. The circle around Maple's name is still dark. I slid that page behind the final decree, not to hide it, to put it where it belongs. Then I closed the drawer and wiped the counter and took Maple out. The river smelled like rain. The condo light in the window looked soft. I locked the door behind me without thinking. I did not feel hate. I did not feel sad. I felt a small, steady thing. It was enough.